So our next speaker brings a wealth of experience from his professional soccer career across Luxembourg, Finland, Germany, Portugal, Albania, Canada, and the United States. A graduate of the University of South Carolina with honors, he possesses a keen eye for talent and a deep understanding of the global football market. His leadership and vision drive his company's mission to develop and advance the careers of athletes at all levels. Please welcome the CEO and co-founder of One Pro Sports Management, Jeffrey Addai.
Perfect, thank you. Very happy to be here today. Firstly, I just want to thank all the management from Windsor TFC, the coaches, the staff, players, and the parents. For us, this is very exciting. Firstly, as he said, a bit about my background. To be honest, I was in the same position of a lot of you players here today, both boys and girls. I'm born and raised in Canada. Actually grew up in Ottawa. I came there from there today, and was playing with the best academy in my region, like a lot of you players today. From there, I was able and privileged to have an older brother who kind of helped guide me through my steps. Went to school in Michigan first, and then was able to transfer to the University of South Carolina. From there, I went back to Ottawa. At the time, playing for Ottawa Fury, and then through connections there, got to Germany, and then further on played professionally. But through this experience that I had personally through soccer, and then also my brother, we then started OPSM, One Pro Sports Management. And really our mission was just to help players who were in similar positions to us to get the next level of their career. Whether it's a college or university, whether it's to an amazing academy like TFC, whether it's to Windsor TFC, or whether it's professionally. That was our goal. How many players could we help, and could we help guide them throughout the way? And then we started in 2017, and it picked up through just kind of bringing more people on who we encountered in our experience. So players we played with, to former coaches that were coaching, who are now part of the staff. We were able to bring a lot of experienced people to kind of help us and guide us throughout the way. In the last years, we've done a lot of deals, not just here in North America, but also abroad. In Europe, in Oceania, so in Australia. There's so many places to play the game of soccer, and that's why I want to kind of outline today and show kind of some other pathways that we're hoping now Windsor TFC players will have. And lastly, it's about relationships. I think a big thing for us was kind of understanding what Windsor TFC was building here, and what you guys are building with your relationship with Toronto FC Academy, to the coaches, to the families here. That's something we wanted to join. So that's big, and that helps so much in soccer. You never know who you'll see, who's your teammate. I've had teammates who help me get contracts, so relationships are so big in the world of soccer. Just based on the pathway that we provide. Basically, all the leagues here, we've placed players in. So from college and university, both in Canada and America, there's so many more leagues and openings now for players that I want all of you to be aware of, both on the female and the male side. So colleges, university system has gotten a lot stronger here in Canada as well, but also NIA, NCAA, JUCOs, there's a lot of opportunities. Then semi-professional, League One, massive, that you guys have that and have been building that. That's a huge pathway to kind of get to the next step and the next step. And Anthony already said it and just kind of showed that pathway that TFC already has. These are the pathways that we try to help and provide with our players as well, and what we're looking to do here. Our agency's been able to build and now get more recognizable players, but the reason why we wanted to come to a club like this is because there's youth here today who potentially will be on TFC Academy and then will make it to the next step as well. So we're trying to reach out to the families and scout the players early on to kind of help them take that next step. Just about the partnership. So basically, conversations started happening with the club last year already. And they were kind of giving us more of the vision that the club had that they were already teaching to you guys today. And the big thing was providing more opportunities. There's so much exposure and there's so much out there now, especially in Canada, and being in Windsor, being so close to America, it puts you in such a good position. So not only is the leagues have grown here in Canada, both on the male and female side, that's what's huge. So for example, before there was no women's professional league, and I know there's a great 2008 girls team already coming that I'm excited to see more of. But for example, we just had a girl sign a contract here from Canada for $75,000. That was unheard of even last year. The minimum salary for a professional woman to play in Canada right now is $50,000. So these are the type of opportunities that open now for females. So the girls coming up actually have something to look forward to. Also, college and university opportunities, both in Canada and America, has expanded a lot. And I have Jerry here who will touch on that more a bit later. Pathway to professional careers. I had a certain ceiling I could get to, but I'm hoping that there's a lot of players here today that will get way further than I have, way further than Jared had as well. That's what we're in it for. Helping one, the parents, and also you players to kind of help you direct those next steps. And that's what we're excited for. This partnership already kind of started a couple weeks ago. We had an event at the Combine, and we had some NoxtromTV-Windsor players who showed very well. Their staff was there scouting as well, and there was a player already recognized for MVP of the game. So kids are already seeing scholarship and opportunities and understanding the different pathways that can come. So these are things that we're looking to do already starting this year and years to come. So very excited for that. I also want to introduce Jerry here. Jared is a huge first step for a lot of players, we believe. He's the head collegiate manager at OPSM, and basically I'll let him touch on more on how we're first going to get started with the teams coming and the individual players. I think it was amazing, Anthony, what you were sharing about what a lot of clubs are doing now, and it's really focusing on the individuals. Because the big thing that you guys have to understand is every single person's career is different. You might be on the same team, but everyone's going to have a different pathway. Someone might go to college in Canada, someone might go to university, someone might go to America, someone might go straight to Toronto City Academy, someone might go straight abroad for 1 year. There's so many different opportunities, but you have to just focus on yourself. Even though you might have teammates who are going different places, as long as you focus on yourself and focus on your own pathway, that's how you can keep making it up in your career. And earlier you guys saw an amazing kind of visual of it. No one's career just goes like that. You're going to have setbacks, you're going to have ups and downs, but as long as you kind of have a clear goal and a clear vision and a clear plan, that's how you're going to be able to keep making it to that next step. So Jared here is going to kind of show all of you today more how we work on the collegiate side of things and how players get to that next step. So we'll give it to Jared.
Thank you, Jeff. Appreciate it. First of all, I want to reintroduce myself. My name is Jared Maloney. I'm the director and manager of the collegiate program here at OPSM. A little bit about myself. I was just a local kid from Ottawa, just like how there's a bunch of local kids from Windsor here. Had no clue about university scholarships, let alone even playing at the university level. So without the guidance and without any of that, I decided to just stay local. I went to Carleton University and played there, which I had a lot of success, and it was great. I went to nationals quite a few times, but now looking back at it, I wish I had someone in my position now who was going to show me the ropes and who was going to guide me throughout the process and essentially network me to universities that fit my level. Now, just a little bit more about myself, how I got integrated into the OPSM family. After I graduated from university, I went abroad and went to Finland with Jeff. And Jeff showed me the ropes a little bit and showed me everything I need to learn. And I've decided that I'm going to take over the collegiate program here. And we've grown into this much success here. And these stats have actually increased a lot since then. And we've had about 500 to 700 plus players recruited since we made this graphic, and we have a 95% success rate. And the reason why it's 95% is because, yes, you're going to have the kid who doesn't want to go to their comfort zone, right? And what I always tell kids and what I always tell parents is that you have to step outside your comfort zone and you have to become comfortable being uncomfortable if you want to make it to the next level. So, as well as our 5K network of recruiters, we've built our own database where we have not only our own database, but our relationships with coaches across North America. So we can disseminate your profiles widely to the specific coaches that fit their level of school. And 1 million plus in scholarships awarded has since increased a lot. So it's probably about 3 million now because, you know, at the end of the day, the better player we get, the more full scholarships are awarded, and that keeps increasing and increasing and increasing as we get more experience in this game. So you might be wondering why OPIS and collegiate recruitment? Well, specifically for this, we have to understand, okay, we get the parent and the player on a call, understand, okay, first of all, what's your child's GPA? Is that a check to go to university? Great. Now, what's the parent's budget? That's another big question that has to be answered, because at the end of the day, university can be expensive, but if you don't have the right guidance moving forward, then it can be a little bit daunting as well. Another thing is as well too, we have to understand is what level is your child, right? Is there going to be an assessment being made? Because at the end of the day, you might think your child is the best in the world, but when you get a professional assessment on where your child is really at that time, then that gives you a realistic assessment on where you're going to be placing and where your money's going to go. So I won't touch on all the features here, but mainly what we set up is a recruitment account for your athlete, and that recruitment account gives an overlay of exactly what their biography is, and it also includes their highlight video, which essentially is an online link that we send out to coaches at the right time when they're ready to be networked, and we feel as though that their highlight video is ready to be networked as well. The big thing is that we have to understand, okay, based off our assessment, is their highlight video ready? Are they a forward who's scoring goals right away, or are they a defender who's making tackles, right? If I see a pass side to side, then we have to understand, okay, we have to change up your highlight video, and we have to change up how we're going to approach coaches, because you're just going to continue to waste your time, and we want to make sure that everyone is ready to go, and that there's going to be a positive impact at first glance. Now, when a coach does view the player's profile through our platform, you get a text message to your phone and to your email, letting you know which coach is viewed, so you actually know where you're headed and which coaches are actually viewing your profile, so you understand who's passing by, right? And then just a few of everything else, right? So one big thing as well is with the platform, it's something tangible and something that's parents and players can use to network for themselves. But meanwhile, on the back end, we have your back. We're the ones using our own database networking for you, so it's essentially double the recruitment. And typically, most of the time, it's us behind the scenes who's getting the relationships involved and making sure that everything is coherent. So, a message for the parents, what this means for the families. We want to build a strong support system, right? Whether that's on the pro side, on the collegiate side as a plan B, or even give you a little bit of perspective on what it takes to even get to that next level, which is what we always want to harp on. So with this partnership, we offer transparent communication and opportunities, and as well as access to experts in the North American community. And at the end of the day, we've been doing this for quite a few years now, and we want to make sure that you have access to what we've built, and you have access to what we've cultivated here as well at OPIS. I'm going to pass it back to Jeff, and I just want to say thank you first and foremost to all the parents who showed up, because at the end of the day, this wouldn't be possible without you. So give yourselves a round of applause. Thank you.
So thank you everyone. There's probably a lot of information there, but as I said, everyone has that individual career. So as this is going to be starting, depending on your age, you're all going to have an assessment. We're going to get on meetings and kind of talk to each player, kind of individually, kind of what direction is best for them. So the big thing for us guys is using your talent of soccer. You wouldn't be on Windsor TFC if you weren't a great player. It can get you to a lot of places. At the end of the day, not everyone's going to be a professional soccer player. Not everyone will make it to the top. Like through soccer, you could get a degree. You could end up being a future doctor. You're going to be a future physiotherapist. There's so much you could do with your talent. So I encourage all you players here today and the ones who are going to be coming into the club, use this, use your skill, use your talent to kind of get to that next step in your life. So thank you parents, thank you everyone for today.
Well, I just want to thank those guys for coming up, and one of my key initiatives when we got here was to make some partnerships. I guess for us to grow as a club, we have to have partners. We do here at TFC, and with these guys from OPSM. There's a lot of players in here who actually, I would say, test drove one of their combines, and we had some coaches there, League One coaches there. But the quality that these guys brought was, I think, at another level compared to some of the other players in the industry. And just the quality of the coaches that they had through all the NCAA schools that were there, and the MLS and Next clubs, which was very impressive. So I never really seen that before in the industry, that these guys, the network that they had. So look to, I guess, more communication from us as a club, and we're going to bring these guys in tighter to work with us in the future. So they've done an excellent job. Thanks, guys. So we had a little issue tonight with the huge turnout that came there. Basically, everybody here dragged down the internet and dragged down the cell service. So that was the issue with our Zoom call, because we did have it up and working. We didn't just try to set it up at the last second. So everything was working until everybody showed up tonight. Thank you. So that's a good thing, but unfortunately, Sasha, I guess he tried to get his passport renewed about 2.5, 3 weeks ago. He's been missing his passport, and he was hopefully supposed to get it before he showed up, but it hasn't come in yet. So his full intention was to be here with us tonight, and we were asking every day, did you get it, did you get it, did you get it? And of course, this morning it did not show up. He was going to take a flight out today. Actually, he showed up this morning. But what we are going to do, we are going to get him back, and we are going to send him a Zoom or a Teams meeting for everybody who's here next week. And everybody can, he can give his presentation from home. You can all watch it from home. So we'll set up that time with him. But we will get him back, and we will get him back here in person. And, but he, unfortunately, we wouldn't let him in the country tonight. So I did have a joke lined up to say who was the better soccer player tonight when we switched over. Who would win on a 1v1 between you two guys?
He would.
He would win? Okay. So I'm going to bring Pancho back, and he's going to talk about some key initiatives for our next speaker.
Thanks, Mike. We're going to get his butt back here in person, and but in the meantime, we'll make sure that Sash gets the message across to everyone. And his message is really about what the landscape of college soccer is these days. What's happening with all of the free agency, what's happening with all of the international players that are being recruited because they see the great opportunities here, and what are the barriers to entry. So we have enablers like OPSM. We certainly have the pathway to the Canadian program, which I'll talk a little bit about. But there are challenges and opportunities, and I think the best one to deliver that is Sasha directly. And so we'll set something up, invite you all, and maybe it'll be in the comfort of your homes that you're on. And eventually he will be here because he needs to come for many reasons, one of which is a near and dear project that we're all working on. So unfortunately we couldn't get him on. So let me just wrap up the session because we're still on time, believe it or not, given what we're doing right now. And I wanted to talk about the number of things that our club is doing to move forward, in particular with our League One program. Okay? League One program is not something to look at and consider as a program that's kind of floundering. 250 players that have come through the League One program are playing in a professional league somewhere. 42% of the CPL players have come through League One. 80% of those from League One Ontario. League One is now a countrywide organization of more than 150 teams, probably around 120 clubs, right? And growing. League One is owned by the CPL. And I imagine going further down the road, they'll keep pushing down into the next level of academy building, beyond the 17 and 18 and 20-year-olds that are part of League One. So we're well poised as an organization, as a community, with our OPDL friends and ourselves to continue to support the OPDL, to continue to support the League One program. We just got to get out of the championship division and move up to the premiership division and then take that next step. And that's a challenge for our new head coach, Gabriel Paulino, who's here. Gabe, you want to say hi? Where is he? Come on, stand up, Gabe. I understand, Gabe, you have a few players that you recruited that are there right now from out of the country. Yeah, okay. Fellas, welcome to Windsor. We'll get them geared up pretty soon when Terry delivers all the goods from Capella. Okay? But seriously, you know, we have some incredible opportunities because of the efforts that we have to make to promote League One and the incredible players that we have right now. We need to do a better job in our social media platforms, right? So we're working with an expert in the community on promotions, okay? And he's also becoming a very close ally and a partner because he's the president and CEO of the Windsor Express. Dardis, you want to say hi to everybody? They're right there. And the general manager for the Windsor Express, Erin Huddersfield. Erin, you want to say hi? She doesn't like to stand up. Erin is there. Okay. All right. So not only is Dardis and Aaron helping us incredibly with some of the social media planning that we're working on, but also in the ticketing strategy. Okay? The ticketing strategy is something that, you know, we need to start promoting more. And we've made quite a bit of efforts to reach out to the clubs to partner with us on attendance at the games, but also we need to adopt some of the programs that the Windsor Express is promoting. They're the masters of promotion, and we're going to learn from them and use some of that knowledge to help us grow and get kids and families and people to the League One matches at St. Clair College, the best stadium in Ontario. We have a tremendous amount of support from St. Clair College. We have tournament partners that we're operating with, which is FTF, as you know. We've got an exciting tournament that we're hosting this year. And also, something new that you'll see this year is Mike Attella is joining us to handle the social media stuff. Mike is from Common. Common is an apparel company, and you'll see a display. So that's Mike Attella. On top of this, and I mentioned this earlier, that we are involved with an amazing sports activist in the community that is driving force behind the CPL franchise that we're looking to bring. We cannot talk about this as something that's already done or not done, but a huge support for this project. And that is from Greg Spencer. Greg, you want to say hi? So there's a lot of activities, a lot of initiatives undertaken by the small group of people that are forming this community, and we need to be more aligned with the rest of the groups, because that stadium for this summer needs to be packed. We've got some exciting players that we recruited that we hope can move on to either the college, the university, or even next level, but also because we want to have an outstanding program entertaining the fans and inspiring our kids that are looking for some magic to happen. So we're putting in the effort. We'd like to encourage you to come and support these guys. And really, you know, this is what it's about. It's about that big experience, not only for the players, but also for the fans. So that's basically what I wanted to mention, is that there's a lot of initiatives underway. We've got a lot of good things coming, and please come out and watch these games. Our first game is on April 13th. It's a cup game. Let's pack the stadium. Let's get as many people in here supporting these kids who are doing a fantastic job, and the coaches. Okay? So thank you very much. I'm going to invite Caps.
We have a few questions.
Yeah, I'm going to invite Caps and Jeff up here for the question and answer sessions, if you don't mind. Okay?
Bonji, too.
I'll get those guys in here, get the microphone, you can ask them. Okay? So, if you want to ask a question, Mike will come out and bring the microphone to you, or go ahead and fire away.
So we had a few mail-in questions. We're going to start with the first one. Why can't you get all the clubs in Windsor Essex to merge into one entity?
Right. Okay. So it's not that we can't. There is a willingness there. It's just a question of, you know, who goes first. And, you know, the question was about merger. I don't know that that's a simple answer, but I think that there are clubs that have common interests, and we're building partnerships with. Right now, Windsor Soccer Club, Amherstburg Soccer Club, we have strong partnerships. Everybody wants to identify with themselves, with the history that's there. We want to retain their brand, but there is a component of what we're doing that is common to all, and that's what we need to merge. So that's the effort that we're going to make, and I'm pretty sure that from our folks from the council who are present, you know, we need to figure this out together, how best to serve this community, so that the resources are directed, the minimal resources that we have are directed to making sure that happens.
Okay, if anyone has a question too, we'll unlock your hand, just raise your hand and we'll see you and then we'll come over to you. Our next question was, what is the best pathway to becoming a collegiate athlete? So I think this could be for both of you to answer, or whoever wants to take the lead there.
Yeah, well, I think the best option, one, is you have to be a student first. So the first thing with being a college athlete, you have to make sure your grades are up. Because that's going to help, one, in getting into school, and two, with the amount of scholarship you could get. The next is just focusing on yourself and with your team and your training and your development. As you're improving as a player and you're getting to these showcases with your team, you guys are having a big event and tournament as well that's going to be coming now potentially every year here in Windsor. So these type of exposure events and, you know, constantly looking to network your profile is going to be kind of what helps you reach that option of being a collegiate athlete.
Yeah, just to add a little bit from our environment, at the academy we say every player is on the school pathway until told otherwise by the club. So there's no such thing as a U14 player that comes into our environment that thinks that he's on the pro player pathway. That's not how it works. And so ultimately we want to keep as many doors open as possible. And the starting point, and Jeff has already mentioned it, is your performance in the classroom is as important as your performance on the field. And so at the academy, let's say through our manager of education, if there's a player that's struggling at school, as we collect report cards and look at grades, we will pull those players off the field in the event that there's a problem at school with the player not performing. Because we want to keep these pathways open. The last thing we want is for a player to be in their graduating year and they don't have the adequate credits or the prerequisite courses in order to attend university. So really it's about your performance in the classroom that comes before your performance on the field. And then, you know, the events that I spoke about, the Generation Adidas Cup, the Fest event, the Flex event, we have some of the top NCAA schools that are attending those events and scouting our players directly. In addition to that, we have a partnership with FTF where we just ran a showcase in February at our facility where we hosted about 70 coaches from the NCAA. So those opportunities will always exist in our program.
Okay, thank you. Got a question there?
How would you differentiate your program from, say, as a father of 17, against like Captain U or NCSA, or what would, spending money with you guys as opposed to spending money with something like that? My son has already sent out 150 emails, received back 30 responses, invites, and things like that, where you can do it on himself as opposed to, say, an organization like yours. I'm just throwing it out there.
Yeah, no, I think it's a great question. I think the biggest thing is not only are you and your child going to be sending those emails out to coaches, but we're going to be calling them. And I think that's a big difference, actually having a personal advisor working with you. And I think that was the same thing that the Windsor TFC management asked us, and that's what we committed to. So, for example, Jared's a former collegiate athlete, myself, we have former Oregon State head coach as well. So these are the type of people that will speak on behalf of your son and daughter to help them get placed into colleges and universities.
Okay, I have another question.
Answer that?
Okay. So I had another question that I emailed. Why does Windsor City not have a no-one women's program?
Well, that's a very good question. That's because the Kelsey has it. That's the short answer. But I think that this is a deficiency in our program. It's because we haven't really developed the girls' stream as much as we concentrated on the boys' stream. And we also made a conscious decision that there isn't enough coaching or players to have duplicate teams. So the Kempsey knows that we're going to commit to the men's program, and they committed to the women's program, and that's part of the work, the working together approach that has to be made. Eventually, it needs to be under one umbrella, and I'm going to say it publicly, and I've said it publicly 100 times. We just have to figure out how to do it best to serve the kids.
Thank you. Anybody have any other questions in the audience? Okay.
So earlier in the presentation, talked about having individual development plans for players. So is that something that's going to be rolled out this year, or is that something for the future for the teams? And if so, is it going to be when they go outside or come out soon?
So that is a need for our program in creating individual development plans. But I can tell you, the effort that we're putting in right now, we need to hire more coaches to handle some of that stuff. Because if you compare what an individual development plan looks like for the TFC Academy and what we can do, it would be essentially to scratch the surface, just to create the idea that individual development plans are part of what you and the player are executing. In their world, they're managing and controlling it. In our world, we have to create the practice and allow our player to work on their own. That's in my mind. But I'm going to ask Anthony to address that. How could you tailor an individual development plan for a less resource-laden program?
Yeah, what I would say is you're going to want to walk before you can run with this IEP. It's a big undertaking, and you have to have the right resources and people and structure in place before you can tackle that. So what I mean when I say you got to walk before you can run, you should be looking at your training methodology first and foremost. So the coaches that you do have at the club, and what does the daily environment look like just from that perspective? When you have 18, whatever number of players that show up for a training session, what does the training session look like before you start talking about IDP? That part we need to get right. And so, to be quite honest, I don't know exactly what the training methodology is for Windsor TFC. I've been out, I would say, a handful of times to demonstrate certain things. I don't know how much of that has been adopted by the club, but that would be the starting point for player development. And then once that is in place, then you have to look at IDP through your lens. And so what's your field availability? How many coaches do you have available? When are the players able to come to IDP? Is this something that you're doing before the session, after the session? Is it being done on a separate day? Is it being done indoor or outdoor? These are all the questions that you have to ask around IDP. And then there's a specific skill set that your coaches need to execute IDP. Because now you're working with individual players by position, and perhaps you're working in tactical situations in small groups. So your coaches need to have the expertise in order to deliver that program.
Sure, I just had a follow-up question. It was related to the presentation from BSM. So you mentioned that players were going to be having evaluations. I get that's part of the partnership with Windsor TFC. Is there a plan for that already, or is that something that's being developed?
Yes, so what's good about this partnership, and the reason why we didn't just directly go to the parents or the players, is because we need their kind of evaluation on the player's development. We don't focus on player's development, we focus more on their career and the pathways. So we connect one with the player and the parent, and we do our own assessment through their highlight video, but not also on a playing standpoint, also on the parent's budget, as Jared was saying, also on, do you want to go far away for school, do you want to stay more local? So our assessment includes, yes, your playing career, but also what you want in life. So through that assessment and through our connection with the club and talking to the coaching and their staff, then we're able to kind of tailor a plan that we think works best for your son or daughter. Hope that answers the question.
So to add to that, this is like a very fluid beginning relationship with OPSM, and I said there's going to be a lot more future, I guess, dialogue between the coaches, the management, our TDs, and then we're going to roll out a comprehensive plan that will start most likely next year. But we're going to try and get some of the older kids who are close to that age right now, we're going to get them involved right away. Any other questions? No? Go once? Okay. Just going to close out here. Okay, so as we come to close this evening, I just wanted to take a moment to thank each and every one of you for being here. Tonight was more than just a meeting, it was the beginning of an exciting journey for Windsor TFC and Windsor City. To our players, keep working hard, chasing your dreams. To our coaches, thank you for your dedication to developing the next generation. To our parents, your support is the foundation of our player success. To our sponsors, your generosity helps make everything possible. To our special guests and board members, your leadership and vision are shaping the future of soccer in Windsor. So this is just the start. Together we will grow, inspire, and build something truly special for the soccer community. Thank you again for your time, your passion, your belief in this club. We look forward to an exciting future ahead. Thanks everybody for coming tonight.
Thanks everybody.